I'm not infected. I'm not infected. Please.
Nothing happened the way it was supposed to happen. 6 billion people on Earth when the infection hit. I'm a survivor living in New York City. I will be at the South Street Seaport every day at midday when the sun is highest in the sky.
Welcome back to our San Diego podcast. I'm your host, Swan, and here's episode 268, Ground Zero, where we will be taking a look back on the 2007 dystopian flick I Am Legend. By request of our guest tonight, Mr. CJ Stevenson is in the house. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. It's always great to be back on the show.
We're always happy to have you, the local contrarian, right?
That name is never going to go away, is it?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine with being right. That's fine.
All right. So before we break down the film focus for this podcast tonight, let's get warmed up with a few segments, shall we?
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
I have a couple of stories. So, first one, the big news item, I guess, of the week probably is the Thor Ragnarok trailer, which has amassed a huge 209 million views in the first 24 hours.
You said Ragnarok.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. Thor, Love and Thunder. The new trailer from Academy Award winner Taika Waititi, who won his Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit, which is a bad movie. But
no, it isn't.
That's never stopped the Oscars before. The trailer came out, was released over the weekend, and features a Guns N' Roses classic Sweet Child of Mine as the guitar riff. If you remember, the last movie, Thor Ragnarok, was sort of, and even Taika Waititi even said this in his sizzle reel pitch that he presented to Marvel. He used the Led Zeppelin song. I forget the name of the song, but he used that main song as the main hook of the Thor Ragnarok trailer. And in this, it seems like he's doing Sweet Child of Mine as the main theme of the trailer, and probably will be featured in the movie. Movie is about Thor Ragnarok, who is the movie is about Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth. I can't talk today. Played by Chris Hemsworth, who in the trailer is trying to put away his violent tendencies and embark on a quest of peace. But we know with these comic book movies, that doesn't last. He's joined by the Guardians of the Galaxy of all your favorite characters are returning. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie is returning, and she hinted that she played the character as bisexual in Thor Ragnarok, and Kevin Feige said that will be directly addressed in this movie. Also returning is Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor. This takes influence from a famous comic book run that came out, I believe, in 2012, written by Jason Aaron, in which Natalie Portman's character Jane Foster has cancer and is deemed worthy to be the next Thor. And when she is Thor, her cancer is gone, but when she's not Thor, her cancer is present. This also has Christian Bale, formerly a DC King when he played Batman in the Nolan trilogy, has not been seen in a comic book movie since 2012, and is returning 10 years later to play a villain called Gore the God Butcher, who apparently does not like the Greek and Norse and Egyptian gods and has set on his path to kill them all. So that's the setup. What did you think of the trailer, Wesley?
I thought it was it looked beautiful, man. I just watched it right before doing the show. I had only seen stills and stuff, and you got me to watch it before, so we could kind of briefly talk about it. And yeah, I'm super stoked for the movie. But of course, I love Taika Waititi's stuff in general, so I never had any doubts. And I'm very excited for Christian Bale to be coming back, especially as a villain. I didn't even I had forgotten that, not forgotten, but when he was announced to be tied to this Thor movie, I was like, oh shit, he's never done any comic book stuff, completely forgetting that he was the Dark Knight, of course. But but yeah, to see him come back, and this, on the Marvel side, it's pretty epic, and I feel like it's gonna be a real treat, dude.
Yeah, it shows the Marvel's reach that they can even get Christian Bale to be in their movies. I mean, the Marvel reach is seemingly infinite, full of talent that they're able to con into being in their movies. I'm excited. I'm hit or miss on Taika Waititi. I like Thor Ragnarok a lot. I really love Hunt for the Wilder People. I think that's his best movie. I'm so on What We Do in the Shadows, and I think Jojo Rabbit is a bad movie. He has another movie coming out with Elizabeth Moss and Michael Fassbender called Last Goal Wins, I believe it's called. It's about a famously bad European soccer team, I think. I think it's also the inspiration for Ted Lasso 2 team, but I'm not entirely sure if it's correct or not. But I'm excited for this. It looks like the film itself. It looks like the greatest '80s glam rock concert that you've never been to, and it's kind of an extension of the sort of Flash Gordon aesthetic that he did in Thor Ragnarok. So I'm excited. It comes out in July, so we got a few months until it hits theaters.
Yeah, summertime.
My next news is filmmaker Rawson Marshall Thurber has been signed on to co-write and direct a Voltron movie. This comes after his mega smash, and I say that in quotations, Red Notice, which was premiered on Netflix, and because Netflix doesn't share their data, they claim that it's the biggest movie since Star Wars. They didn't actually claim that, but they said that Red Notice was watched like 100 million times or something like that on their streaming service. I don't know.
Is that the one with Is that the one with The Rock and stuff?
Yes, that's the one with The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds, and they're attempting to do a Thomas Crown Affair, and it does not go well because the movie's a giant turd. And The Rock looks so tired in it. I've never seen that man look so tired before. It's just crazy. But he's been signed on to direct Voltron. This is the guy that also did Skyscraper, which was pitched as Die Hard, but in a building. I know. So original. He did Central Intelligence, which was a fun movie with The Rock and Kevin Hart. And he also did Dodgeball, the sort of quasi-cult comedy from the early 2000s. It was supposed to be on Netflix, but Amazon is looking like it might swipe it up. Netflix did an animated Voltron show that was pretty good, that lasted for about, I think, 7 seasons, I think. Pretty good. He is director's co-writing the script with Ellen Shanman, whose credits I'm not familiar with. But, it's looking like it might be a go. Are you a fan of Voltron at all, Wesley?
Yeah, I am. I had no idea about this, so it's pretty interesting. I like Dodgeball. I don't think I've seen Central Intelligence, and I haven't seen Red Notice, so I can't really speak on that guy's work too much.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say, is it live action?
Yes, it's live action. It's a live action movie.
Interesting. I don't know.
This is a project that they've been trying to do forever. The guy who wrote Jungle Book, Justin Marks, wrote a pretty famous script back in the early 2000s. The writer and director of Bone Tomahawk wrote a script in the mid 2010s.
That's
that got floated around.
S. Craig Zeller, is that
Yeah.
his name? Yeah.
Yes. He was hired and he wrote a script that was tossed around that was going to get made, I think, by Justin Lin, but I'm not entirely sure. And now it's in the hands of Ross and Marshall Thurber, who just keeps on climbing up the ladder. He's a guy that Kevin Feige has repeatedly gone to maybe hiring. He was in the running for the first Guardians of the Galaxy, for the first Ant-Man, and for Thor Ragnarok. So this is a guy that clearly Kevin Feige likes, as he keeps trying to find a project to work on. But I'm not really excited about this movie. I guess they're doing it because the Voltron show on Netflix was a hit, but I feel like at this point, these big studios have exhausted the big IPs and they're trying to go after the niche stuff. And I don't know if this will prove to be a wise investment, but I could be wrong. My next story is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have teamed up for a true life story about the Nike sneakerman Sonny Vaccaro. Amazon Studio, Skydance Sports, and Mandalay Pictures are behind the sports marketing drama that began as a spec script by Alex Convery, but is being reworked by Affleck and Damon, and Affleck will direct and co-star in the movie. This is the third time that Affleck and Damon have collaborated on a project as writer and co-stars. The last time they did it was the Last Duel. Did you like the last? Did you like that movie, Wesley? The Last Duel.
I've heard good things about it, even though it was considered a flop, but I haven't had a chance to check it out. But of course, I love Good Will Hunting, of course. Yes,
Good Will Hunting, which was their first collaboration and kind of launched their careers, and they won an Oscar for it. I liked The Last Duel a lot. I was kind of surprised it got shut out at the Oscars. I'm excited for this. This is supposed to be Affleck's second directorial effort that he's doing post rehab. He went to rehab for his drinking problems. He's also supposed to be doing a movie about the making of Chinatown, in which he's playing Roman Polanski. I believe that's going to be for Netflix. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what makes of this movie about the Nike sneaker man. Speaking of Netflix has lost 20,000 subscribers in the first quarter. It's predicted to lose 2 million in quarter two. Netflix has been the leading streaming service since it launched, basically, and has been has shepherded the productions of many of our greatest filmmakers' working's best movies. They have accumulated, I think, like over 50 Oscar nominations. They're the studios that gave us Alfonso Cuarón's Roma, Spike Lee's The Five Bloods, Ava DuVernay's documentary 13, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story, David Fincher's Mank. They also gave us Red Notice and Stranger Things. So so at this point, I'd say they're probably like they have replaced maybe Paramount or a studio like that as like now the leading studio for content creators and stuff like that, and directors. People are saying that this loss is a tribute to their price hike. They recently raised their prices. I think now if you are just getting a Netflix account, it's like $17. This is the first time that they've lost this much subscribers since in 10 years. So since like 2012 or 2010. So this is a pretty big deal. people are